What's going on? Welcome to the SenterME Sis, a Black Girl's Guide to Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Charlotte Louis, owner and founder of SenterME Self-Love for Black Women. And this week is a very, very important week. The topic for this week is the power of silence. And with everything that has gone on this week, I have been definitely giving this particular session a lot of thought around what I wanted to share because silence has played such a huge role in my self love journey that I just didn't want to half ass it. Like, I really just wanted to, not that I half ass anything that I do, but it was a very busy week as far as preparation goes last week. And so I got my points out there, but I really wanted to take this opportunity to dive into them a lot deeper. And so I decided to make this podcast a video live recording. I've been telling myself to do this for a while. I've been telling myself to start recording the videos of the podcast. And I guess it's just no better time than now. And so, silence, the power of silence. What I have been doing for the past year and a half has I've been committing to meditation every day. And so there have been some days, a couple of days here and there where I've missed out, I missed my mark. But I would have to say 99% of the time I have been meditating on a daily basis. And I've been doing this for a little over a year and a half, and I meditate in silence because I just when I want what I've learned in this time with myself and in stillness is that we're always being stimulated. We're always being stimulated by everything. As calm and still as life can be, it is very much also very wild and crazy and noisy and turbulent. And so when I first started, I would use meditation sounds, and then I just kind of realized that finding silence was a little bit was just difficult with the with the music. And so when I meditate, I meditate in silence, and it can be very difficult. It can be very difficult. It can be very difficult, but it's always exactly what I need every single time. Every single time, without fail, meditation has always been exactly what I needed. And I'm to the point now where I feel like I can feel it when I don't meditate. Like, I can feel that, oh man, I didn't meditate this morning. Things start to stimulate me a lot quicker throughout the day than normally. And that's what brings me to my first insight from meditating for this past year and a half daily is you really get a sense of stillness on a very intimate level because, like I said, the world is very stimulating, whether it be the noises outside, whether it be the conversations throughout the day, whether it be the social media engagement, whether it be, just anything and everything and everything. Life is so stimulating. And so when you have that time of stillness, you really just get to connect with yourself on such an intimate level. You get to really know you and learn you and feel you. You get to feel you. And so whenever I um, miss that stillness with myself throughout the day, that's one of the first things that I start to take notice of. I start realizing like I'm getting stimulated a lot quicker throughout the day. Like I'm starting to feel things. Things are starting to um, make some noise as they flow through me throughout the day. So what I mean by that is, something that would have, flowed through me a lot easier on the day that I meditated, probably would cause a little bit of frustration or irritation on the days that I didn't. And granted, it was a lot more frequent in the beginning. Like the irritation, the frustration, it would come a lot more frequent. So like now I can go maybe 2 days without meditating before it starts to hit me like, maybe you should take some time. Maybe you should take some time out. Yeah, it's things are starting to stick. And that's what I realized when I position myself in stillness and have that silent time with myself. It is so much easier when you are still to allow things to flow through you. When you know what it feels like to be still and to have that stillness inside of you, it is just so much more easier to allow these things to flow through you, allow, situations, emotions, circumstances to flow through you. And I would not have achieved this level of stillness and connectedness with myself without spending that silent time with myself. And so that kind of brings me into the next insight that I had learned throughout this time where I've been meditating for uh, a year and a half, is that because I'm so familiar with stillness now, I can choose it. I can return to it a lot quicker than I used to. And that's because, before my emotions were largely in control of my life. And I talked about this in our a previous podcast episode when we talked about, keeping it real, the importance and the value of keeping it real. Because when we are not allowing things to flow through us, we're not being, real with ourselves, and we're just holding on to things. These emotions that we're holding on to will eventually take over our personalities. And so for a while, largely, most of my life, my emotions were very much in control and very much taking the wheel. And so when I started meditating, I started noticing that there's this space in between you something happening and you responding to it. And I was able to widen that space, and now I'm in this space where I can choose more effectively what is going to be a better response for me. How am I going to preserve my energy best in my response? And I think that that's the way that I look at things all the time now. What is the best way to preserve my energy in response to this situation? And so, like, how whenever I talked about this on the self-love essentials video, whenever you don't get the last word, when you do get the last word in an argument, it's like, yeah, you ain't got nothing to say. Like, you are actually losing. Because you're still giving energy. You're still pouring more energy into the situation. That is your energy that's being used, not theirs. So you're losing. And this is coming from someone who used to really require the last word. Like I literally required it. And so and so when I, on this journey of silent time with myself on a regular basis, I just kind of realized like, okay, do I really need to respond to this? Because sometimes you'll find that you don't even need to respond. It's not even worth it when you start really understanding the value of preserving your energy and the fact that you are what you give your energy to. Oh gosh, you'll just start to be so much more careful and aware. Oh my gosh, you'll be so much more aware of the energy that you're using and the energy that you are giving to certain situations, circumstances, or even people, right? And so, arguments, it's like it is a complete waste of energy to argue. It is only a waste of energy to argue because there's a disagreement in place. There's a disagreement there. And I feel like we can agree to disagree. And from that space, we can either choose to respectfully try to understand both sides, or we could take time apart to allow the situation to flow through us and just let it be the agreement of disagreement. But anytime that you partake into an argument, the fact of the matter is there's a disagreement at hand. So if there's a disagreement, why are we still going back and forth about the disagreement? We already know that that is evidence. So are we going to put energy into the solution, the compromise, the respect, the mutual respect that we have for each other, or are we going to put energy into the tearing down and the wasteful use of energy to continue to repeat what has already been, said, and let's just continue to repeat? Because at the end of the day, when you're arguing, you don't feel heard, and if you don't feel heard, you'll know that in the beginning. So when you familiarize yourself with stillness, by having that silent time with yourself, you start to look at the preservation of energy different. You start looking at the way that you use your energy differently. Because you realize that the less energy that you put into things, like as far as the pushing and the pulling of things, when you just allow things to be exactly what they are, not only are you improving your own self-awareness, but you are really starting to build your ability to accept things for what they are, and ultimately accept you and all that you are. You see? So it's more to me about being able to, regulate myself on a high level where I am aware of where I'm putting my energy. I am not trying to force things. I'm not avoiding things either. But I'm just allowing things to be, and I'm allowing myself that same grace. And when you learn how to give it to yourself, it's going to be easier to give it to other people. And that's really where you start to see a reflection of yourself. When you're interacting with other people, like you get to see, like, if you're really judgmental, if you're honest with yourself, because I used to be super judgmental, I'm not even gonna lie. But it was because of the way that I was with myself, and that silent time with myself allowed me to observe my thoughts in that way. And so here's another thing, another insight. When you are sitting in silence and you're able to observe your thoughts and really start to not judge them, but just simply observe them and allow them to be what they are, what you'll find is that some of your thoughts are super repetitive. And then you'll also find that some thoughts are coming from past versions of you. And so that's why I really love that conversation that I had previously on the podcast with Jasmine regarding inner child healing, because the healing that comes with silent time with yourself is invaluable. You start to learn more about who you are, why you are, so that you can better serve yourself, so that you can get yourself the healing and the expansion that you deserve, right? And even after a year and a half, it is still very much I don't look forward to meditating. I don't look forward to it. I don't look forward to it. Once I'm in it, I'm just like, oh God, I knew this is exactly what I needed. But, like when the morning comes and I'm just like, it's 5:45 in the morning, I'm like, oh, you're going to do this. You got to do this. It's going to be about 30 minutes, so you got to get up. And so I'm like still having to very much coach myself into making sure that I get that meditation, but that time with myself. And this brings me to my last point. Whenever you make time to have that silent time with yourself, the reason why I think that I still don't look forward to it is because I know that it's work. I know that it's work. I know that it's work. I know that it's work, especially on the days that I really don't want to do it, because I am probably experiencing some lower vibrational energies. I'm probably not feeling it. And these are the times that I need it the most. And so I know that it's work. It is work. When you are sitting there connecting with your breath and connecting with the moment of now and allowing your thoughts to be what they are, embracing everything that you feel, everything that you think, but always focusing on grounding yourself in the now. That's what really frees your mind. It frees your mind because you are not holding on to these thoughts. You're not trying to battle with them. You're not judging them. You're just allowing them to be. In the work that comes into play is just that. It's like allowing your thoughts to just be that. And then having the awareness to investigate some of these thoughts that may kind of put you off a little bit, right? So you may have a thought that kind of comes and you're just like, I'm not going there because that's just, I already know. I'm just going to let that be. And then you may have thoughts that might be like, actual questions like, why did that trigger me? And investigate that, right? But allow it to flow to you. Really opening yourself up at your most inner level and having that transparency with yourself, having that honesty with yourself to just really unpack. You know what I mean? Like unpack and let it all go. Let it all flow through you, figuring yourself out, learning more about who you are and why you are. Like, these are moments with yourself that are just invaluable. I mean, when you open yourself up in that way to yourself, it goes beyond self-awareness at this point. It's like, yeah, I'm improving my self-awareness, but I'm doing something even more profound. I am learning how to trust myself with me. And with trust comes love. This is, it's an act of self-love. When you give yourself space to just be, to simply be. And that can be difficult for some of us. It was difficult for me. It can be difficult for me sometimes, even now, especially when, there's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot of things that are happening in a short amount of time, and I haven't had the opportunity to unpack some of it by way of journaling first. It may take me a little while longer to settle into meditation because I'm still trying to grab a hold of my thoughts instead of allowing them to just be. And so this past year and a half has been the most transformative I have ever experienced, because I know me differently. And I was just telling my friend today, happy birthday, Eddie. I was telling him that it is an incredible thing when you are able to give yourself permission to be someone new, to evolve into a newer, more mature, more evolved version of you. Like, it's okay to appreciate and value and respect your past versions of yourself, but you still want to make way for the new you to arrive. And that's one of the things that I have learned too. So I guess this will be a bonus insight, right? From my meditation journey, is that as I continue to open up more to myself, as I continue to embrace all that I am, I'm also learning that it's okay to want everything that you desire and go after it, and envision every single detail of it. Like, what else are we really even here for if not to get the things that we came for? I know that for me, it's, and let me go back. Let me take this back a little bit, because I do want to expand on this. It's okay to want it all. I'm going to say that one more time. It's okay to want it all. Like, I feel like we get to the point where we're like, in our journey, especially in our spiritual journey, where it's like, the birds and the trees and earth and nature, and we're good, we're grounded, we're good where we are, we're secure, and there's no need for all of this excess, right? And I've been there in that part of my journey, and it was, and I loved every second of it. I keep it with me. I keep it with me. It helps me to stay humble and grounded, for sure. But why deny myself of the things that I know that I want in this life the things that I know that I want to experience in this life, simply because I know I don't need them. I know that I don't need them, and that's okay. But I don't have to deny myself of experiencing the pleasure that they bring. So the the meditation that I had the other night after my first speech, my first keynote speech. Woo woo, girl had my first keynote speech on Sunday. Woo woo, and it was amazing too, guys. But that's a whole other podcast episode. But the silent time that I've spent with myself, there was this question that came, and it was just it's been ringing ever since. You're saying, why not you? Why can't you have it all? Yeah, you don't need everything, but that's actually exactly why you are going to be able to experience all of it and really enjoy it, because you know you don't need it. And it's like you don't have to have it. But knowing that in this life, whatever it is that I desire, I can have. Why not put it to the test? Why not call God or universe, whatever your faith is, on its bluff? You said I can have whatever it is that I desire. Okay, then let's do this. I got a cabin, off-grid cabin that's waiting on me right now, 25.9 million. It's waiting on me. That's mine. That is mine. And so, and I'm going to circle this back around to the way that we use our energy. Because you are what you put your energy to. And if you're putting your energy into things that are only going to be wasteful to your energy, it's only going to deplete your energy. It's not actually contributing to the building or the expansion of yourself. Then you're never going to see yourself really achieve the things that you want in this life. You're not going to see yourself achieve the things that you deserve and that you desire. But if you are doing the work and you are spending your routine not only includes time where you are, putting energy into growth and expansion of whoever it is that you see yourself being, whether it be entrepreneur, whatever career that you have that you're focusing on, whatever it is. But it also includes that time where you're pouring back into yourself. You are spending time enjoying different hobbies of yours, and then you're also carving out time for silent time with yourself. You are going to find that you are going to be operating on a higher vibrational pool. And so you're going to be attracting the things that you want in your life. So you are working with the universe when it comes to manifesting the things that you want in your life. You need silent time with yourself to make sure that you are familiar with not just stillness, but allowing things to flow through you so that you're not distracted by things that don't matter. This is why you want to have your vision board or your list of, desires, whatever it is, to keep you focused, because again, we're trying to preserve that energy. We're trying to be strategic in how we use our energy. And I want to use my energy to build SenterME into this incredible self-love utopian space where Black women are coming in and booking days and weeks to replenish themselves and pour back into themselves and improve their emotional wellness. I am wanting to put my energy into what is going to help me to expand so that I can show up in my purpose in the way that I know that I was called to do. And so, I just don't waste that energy anymore. I don't waste that energy. I don't even pick up the phone unless I know that this is going to be a conversation that builds. Okay. And so yeah, I have learned a lot in this journey of taking silent time with myself. And I just want to say this before I wrap up. Just like you are what you give your energy to, whatever you give your energy to, you're giving life to. So, on the flip side, when you are giving silence to things that come to waste your time, waste your energy, you are starving those things. You are robbing them of the energy that they came to steal from you by meeting them with silence. And this is why the no response is sometimes the best actual response. This is why, turning the other cheek is the best direction, the best path that you can go in, because that energy, man, good sister Charlene had told me that you only get 100%. You only get 100%. And so, um, yeah, I learned all of that from silent time with myself. Silent time, baby. The power of silence is absolutely real. And there may come a time where I look forward to my meditation. But it's only been a good little year and a half, up against some odd years of just constant stimulation. So I'm being patient with myself, and always very much looking forward to the evolution of Charlotte. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, and I hope that you have the same expectation for yourself, that you give yourself permission to evolve, and try it. Try having some silent time with yourself. And in the Self Love Essentials video, I outline a couple of fun facts about silent time, and how it's actually really good for your brain health. So make sure you check that out. Listen, I am sending you so much love, so much peace, gosh, so much light, sis. I thank you so much for sharing this time and space with me today. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure that you are plugged into the SenterME community. We are coming up on our first SenterME housed day event, September 24th in Raleigh, North Carolina. I am looking forward to seeing you all there. I'm looking forward to it because the SenterME house is going to evolve into something so magnificent. And you have the opportunity to be at the forefront, be in the beginning of it, to see this thing through, see this journey. And so I'm inviting you to be there. We're going to have some workshop, our Keep It Real workshop. We're going to have some games. We're going to have some lunch. We're going to have some sister circle. We're going to be able to create space for you to receive and release, sis. So make sure that you get your ticket. Um, yeah. And if you have had some experience with silent time with yourself, whether it be via meditation or just simply sitting in silence, let me know how it was for you. I want to know, what it's like for you and your silent time, and if you've been on a journey here in meditation, I want to hear about it. And if you're interested in starting, let me know. I want to know what your feedback is. And so, again, thank you so much for sharing this space with me. I will see you next week. And, well, I say this like I'm not going to be back up here. on Sunday. But y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. Just tap into SenterME.com. Self love for Black women. Have a great weekend, sis.